Hi everyone, welcome to Frima Dive. What you see in front of you is a super nice design in Frima called Hero Sliders. In today's video, I will guide you through how to design it yourself without writing any code. We're gonna look at components, which is a critical part of this design. And finally, I'm gonna also show you how to design this cool fill line animation, this line animation that you see at the bottom right of your screen. I believe you can use this design to spice up your websites and your projects and give it a premium, authentic look. So I will have the remix file for free in the description below and you can check it out. And without further ado, let's get this started and see what we can build together.
Yes, my name is Joe and this is Frima Dive. Let's get this started.
Let me just take you through quickly what I have. I have my navigation, which is just a placeholder. And then I also have my main, which is where everything is put in together. So it is just the main frame. And inside it, I have my wrapper. And the wrapper is what is wrapping two things. And let me show you what it wraps. It wraps the left part and the right part. So if I view my website currently, you can see nothing is happening. We just have text on the left side and I just have this image on the right side. And we also don't have this fill line animation, which we're gonna start by looking at it from scratch. So again, if you want to follow along, you can have the remix file in the description and we can get this started. So I'm gonna link two remix files. Number one, the first remix file will be this, which there's nothing animated or there's no components inside it. But then again, I'm also gonna have the second remix file, which is gonna have the complete design. So we're gonna start by creating components. This is the main component, and then we're gonna move to the text component, and then we're gonna move to the image component. So again, we come to the main and we need to turn this main into a component. To turn this main into a component, you can right click on your mouse and you can just click here, create component, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm gonna call mine main. And as you can see, we've moved from the home part to this component part. And as you can see, I can just come here to the main and I can just right click and now I'm in the main. As you can see, we have the variant one, which is my primary. And what we now need to do is we now need to create the text component. So I'm gonna click here my text one. Make sure you click your text one, and then I'm gonna right click again. I'm gonna turn it into a component and I'm just gonna call it text. I'm just gonna remove the one for now. I'm gonna call it text. And then now we're looking at what we have here on a closer view. I have this arrow, I have this text. Both are arranged side by side in this wrapper. So, and as you can see, they have a gap of 40 and this is what is separating this arrow and this Lexus. So here is what we're gonna do, and this is a critical bit. You need to go to the arrow holder and you need to turn it from relative positioning to absolute positioning. And what happens is that because our wrapper is set to fit as the width is gonna fit the Lexus, because now the arrow is absolute positioning, which means it is not considered as an element inside this wrapper. I'm gonna click here my arrow and I'm gonna drag it outside my frame. So notice I'm dragging it outside this main wrapper frame and now we cannot see it clearly. I'm gonna give it like a negative 70 on the left. So now as you can see, we only see the word Lexus. We don't see the arrow, and this is the first thing we want to achieve. The second thing is I'm gonna click this primary and I'm gonna add hover effect. So we want to have something when we hover on this Lexus, we can see a different change. So I'm gonna come to my text here, which is a Lexus, and I'm gonna give it an opacity level of 0. So make sure you can come here and drag it to around 0.52, and then you're gonna go to the hover text and you just need to bump up the opacity and give it like a full opacity. So now when I come and just hover inside, you can see we have this nice transitioning from the primary to the hover primary. And now we need now to again click this primary and we can see we can click this variant plus. We click the variant plus and what we have now is we have the variant 2. So this I'm gonna change it from variant 2. I'm gonna call it my text, and then this I'm gonna call it just text. Maybe call it not active. So essentially we need to have two variants. One is active and one is not active. So I'm gonna come to my text active. Let's go now directly to our arrow holder, which we can't see it because the wrapper is set to overflow overflow set to the wrapper has overflow set to the text active has overflow set to clip, meaning we cannot see anything that is overflowing, and this arrow holder is actually overflowing. So I'm just gonna click the arrow holder and I'm gonna drag it inside this text active, and now as you can see we can see it. And then again, because we have a problem here, because I want this arrow to be arranged side by side, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to the wrapper and I'm gonna just add a left padding on the left side. So I'm gonna click here, a padding on the left, and I'm gonna write like 100. That looks good, or maybe I can minimize it like 90. So essentially we have added some padding on the left side because we want to make sure the arrow is not on top of the text. And then we need to go to the arrow and we need again to make sure we have like 0.5 opacity similar to our text here, which now looks good. Okay, and we need to make sure it's not 0.5 opacity but actually 1 opacity, because here this is the active variant. Okay, so now as you can see we have this, which looks good. So anytime we hover here we get to the white, and anytime we also kind of click we can get to this. So I want to move from this text not active to text active with a click. So I'm gonna click here, click. So notice what happens. So when I hover and then when I click, we have this beautiful arrow coming inside. So that's the first bit, and we've just built the text component. And the beauty about components is once we build it, that's it. What I just need to do, I just need to get rid of this other text. I'm gonna just delete them and they're gonna go away. And then I'm gonna take this text, I'm gonna duplicate it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then now I just need to change it from the active one to the not active. So because this is our first variant 1 and we want this Lexus, which is the first text, to be active, I just need to come to this text and change it to text active. Now as you can see, we have something nice. The second part is we want to have this, instead of having Lexus, we want to have a variable where we can also easily change the text. So if I right click this and I come to my primary and we click the text, I can come here to the properties part and I have this content where I can easily change the text to like anything I want, and as you can see it changes. But now because I don't want to hard code the type of the car here, I just want to make sure it's dynamic. So I can click here, I'm going to create a variable, I'm gonna call this my car, and the default is gonna be Lexus, and I'm gonna create this variable. So if I go to the main, you'll see that we have this car kind of a variable here. So now as you can see, we have this variable here, and we can easily change it to what we want. And as you can see, we can change it to what we want. So that's the first step. So we've just built this nice text component, which is going to be able for us to switch from one to another. The second part is we're going to try and create a component of this image. So let's go to the right part, and inside this right part, I have my image holder, and the image holder is holding my image slider and my numbers holder. And what we want to build a component from is this thing called an image holder. So I'm going to right click this image holder. I'm going to create a component, and basically we're gonna call it image slider. I'm gonna create it, and I'm just gonna create like a couple of variants here so that we can have different images. So I'm gonna right click this, create another variant, create another variant, create another variant. So essentially we're gonna have like different images for different variants. So essentially now we've created an image slider component, which is also going to enable us to switch from one variant to another. So now what we need to do here is we need to add the other variants for the main so that we can be able to switch from one variant to another. And that exactly is what is happening under the hood. So I'm going to just create a variant here. I'm going to create another variant. I'm going to create another variant. So now we have 4 variants, which we're going to switch as we move from one image to another, And that is essentially what is happening here. We're switching from the architecture variant to the retro game variant to the zero gravity variant, like that, and so on and so forth. But now in our case, we're not gonna switch from the, let me call this the Lexus variant, to, we're gonna switch to, remember we had the Lambo variant, so Lambo, we're gonna switch to the Lambo variant, and Ferrari variant, so Ferrari, and then we're gonna switch to the Benz. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the Benz. So now I'm just gonna switch the images very quickly so you can see what we're dealing with. So this should be the Lambo variant, so I need to change it to image 2. This is the Ferrari image 3, and this is Benz image 4. So now we need to change the text here. Notice now this is my Lexus, this is good, but then again we need to change this Lexus to a Lambo, so I need to change this to a Lambo, and I need to change this to a Ferrari, and then I need to change this to a Benz. And also notice that we need to change this from the primary variant, because anything we change on the primary reflects on the other variants. So the next thing is, now we need to come to the primary, it looks good, and then we need now to come to the Lambo variant. As you can see, the Lexus should not be active here, so I'm going to text not active, and I'm going to click the Lambo and I'm going to set it to text active, and we're going to do the same here for the Ferrari. So I'm going to send it to text not active, the Ferrari should be text active, and then this Lexus of course should be text not active, and this Benz should be text active. Now as you can see, we have something good cooking up, something very nice. The final bit is I want us to change this. As you can see, this is 0 1, this is 0 1 0 1, so we need to have something where this is 0 4 0 3 0 2 and 0 1. So to do that, I'm gonna come to this frame which has my primary, and as you can see, inside the arrow we have this current slide frame, and inside the current slide frame we have the text 0 1, text 0 2, text 0 3, and text 0 4. So as you can see, what we just need to do is just switch from, make one active, make the other not active. So because we're in the primary, 0 1 should be active, and we are going to go to the Lambo here, and I just need to make sure this one is hidden. So I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna click hide, and I'm gonna make sure the 0 2 is sorry, I think we are working here with the opacity. I just need to kill the opacity of 0 1 and come to 0 2 and make sure the opacity of 0 2 is clear. And I'm just gonna do the same for here. Here we need the opacity of 0 3 to be up, and we need to kill the opacity of 0 1. And then the same thing we just need to do here is up the opacity of 0 4 and make sure 0 1 and 0 2 have 0 opacity. Now as you can see, we have something, we have different variants, each have different characteristics or different element text, and essentially this is what we're gonna do now. First of all, before we go to the triggers, we're gonna try and design the feline animation, which is this line animation as you can see on the bottom right of your screen. So to do that, I'm gonna go to directly now to this primary variant, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this numbers holder. Remember, we have the image holder, which is this main thing, and then inside we have the image slider, which is the component that we've changed, and then we have the numbers holder. Essentially, the numbers holder has the arrows and it has the current slide, which is the number. So now inside this numbers holder, I want you to hold F on your keyboard and I want you to draw a frame. Just draw a frame inside. So what is happening here, the frame, as you can see, it's inside the image holder. We want it to be inside the numbers holder. So I'm just going to drag it and put it inside my numbers holder. Let me just zoom so you can see what we have. So we have this frame and I need to put it the height to around 2 pixels height, and positioning, I want it to be positioned absolutely positioned, and as you can see, it's pinned to the top, left and bottom. I just want it to be pinned to the top, which is good, and pinned to also the right, and I'm gonna pin it to the right on the 0 side so that it takes the whole width. And then I'm gonna drag it on top like this so that it's slightly above the arrows and the text. And then as you can see, it looks good, and this is good. So essentially now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to the color, which is the fill, and I'm gonna minimize it to around 20% in. I'm gonna make sure this fill line animation has 20% opacity of the white. Essentially we are killing the white color, because what we want to do now is we want to add something inside this frame. So click this frame and hold F on your keyboard, and you're gonna draw a frame inside it like this. So I'm gonna call this my empty. So let me call this my empty frame, empty slider. And then this is going to be my, let's say this is the loader. So the loader is essentially this white part, which we're gonna try and increase it from one side to another. Again, this loader is also positioned absolutely, and we need to pin it to the left, the top, and the bottom. And again, I want it to have a width relative of 100%. So make sure it's 100%, and you want it to be pinned fast to the 0 part like that. So as you can see now, it looks like our line is white, but it's not white. It's because of this loader, which is white, and the empty slider is, remember, we set it to 20% of the we set it 20% of the opacity of the color. So now what we're gonna do is we have this loader here, which looks good, and I'm gonna call this my loader 1. Okay, I'm gonna call it my loader 1. So essentially what we want to do is now we want to direct it outside my empty slider. So I'm just gonna click here on the left pin, and I'm gonna drag it to the left like this. As you can see, I'm dragging it to the left, and we're gonna pin it to -500, which is good. So now we have this line, which is gonna animate from this -500 positioning to inside this empty container slider. So let me just call it the empty container. Okay, so I'm gonna come here to this now, this loader 1, and I'm just gonna come here to effects, and here is where we're gonna add a loop effect, and I'm gonna click the loop effect. Make sure this is okay, delay is okay, opacity is 1, scale is 1, rotation set it to 0. Remember, 360 is always the default rotation. You need to set it to 0. And then I need to come to the transition, make sure it's linear, because this is gonna look better. And then the time, we want it to take 3 seconds. Why 3 seconds? Is because 3 seconds is gonna be our default timing throughout this page. So now if we view what we have, let's see what we have now. Okay, nothing is happening because we forgot to put the offset. So I need to come to this board loader, and I need to make sure the offset, as you can see, now we're making it to move, and we need to offset it 500 pixels. So now when we view our website, as you can see, we have this line coming inside, and it's kind of looping because we've added a loop effect to it. So this is good, but essentially we don't want to see this line coming outside. So I'm just gonna click this empty container slider, and I'm gonna set the overflow to hidden. So now we won't see this line. As you can see, we can't see it. So if I come here and click here Lexus, we have this kind of a line that is coming inside, and this is essentially what we want. So now we're gonna do the same for the other variants, which we're gonna come here to this line, and again, remember we have the loader 1, but now here we want to add another loader for this second variant. So I'm gonna duplicate. So I'm gonna come, let's go to this primary, and remember I have my loader 1 here. I I want to duplicate this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to call this loader 2, and I'm going to call this loader 3, and I'm going to call this loader 4. So I'm going to hide this. Gonna click here. I'm going to hide them. And essentially, we just want the loader 1 to happen on this primary. And if I come to here to the Lambo variant, I just need to click here, come to my empty container slider. I'm going to hide loader 1. I'm going to make sure loader 2 is seen like that. And then I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to make sure my loader 1 is hidden, hide, and loader 3, because this is that variant is seen. And then I'm going to do the same here for the bends. So I'm going to click here, kind of an empty container. Make sure I hide the loader 1. I'm going to hide it. And loader 4 is, I'm going to click here, show. Okay. So now it looks good. So now we have something cooking up. And as you can see, even when we view this Lambo, we have this kind of feline animation that is coming inside really well. And it looks pretty good. It looks quite good and solid. So now to our final bit is what we want to do here is now we want to connect this primary and the Lambo and the Ferrari and the Benz so that they can move and appear on after 3 seconds. And this is what we want to do now, is we want to add appear triggers to our variants. So to do that, I just need to click here, variant 1. I need to connect this to this, and I need to set it to appear. I'm going to set it to 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds delay, it will change from the Lexus to the Lambo. I'm going to do the same here, appear, 3 seconds. Again, I'm going to do the same to the Ferrari. I'm going to click here and click here, Benz, appear, 3 seconds, like that. And then finally, I'm going to take the Benz, I'm going to drag it all the way back to the primary, again, appear, 3 seconds. So this is essentially like a loop. And now we can view what we have. Let's see what we have. So we have the Lexus, we have the Lambo, we have the Ferrari, and we have the Benz. So notice we have a problem in switching on the image component. As you can see, the Ferrari is kind of slow. So we need to go to the image component, and we need now to connect our images. So basically, we need to make sure that as we switch from here to here, we have like a very simple. So I'm going to just get rid of this transition. I'm going to come here, and I'm gonna make sure we have like we don't have like any form of transition. So I'm gonna click instant so that we move from the image component quickly, because essentially we want it to move quickly. So if I come now, as you can see, the Lexus is there, it's coming up, the Lambo should come instantly, and then the Ferrari should come instantly, and then the Benz should come instantly. So if we go now to our homepage, let's just see what we've built. So we have the Lexus coming now, the Lambo coming nicely, the Ferrari coming super well, and the Benz coming super well as well. And then we loop again, and then remember we can also hover here. We can also hover here on the Lexus. Make sure we can hover, as you can see. But essentially, when we click it, we are not switching between variants. So I think that's the final bit I can just do. So remember, when we click here, we want to just click. When we click the Lexus, we can just switch to the Lexus on click instantly. And then when we click the Lambo, we just need to move here. So you just need to click here the text. Make sure you click this up icon or hold L on your keyboard. And then you just need to drag it to the variant you want to switch it to. And I'm going to do the same here. Click the bands, and I'm going to just drag it to the final part. So this should work now. Let me just confirm. Good. So if I come to my home page, and now I should have something really nice. So as you can see, we have this incredible hero sliders, and we've just done this without writing any code. You can see the power of Framer, and what you actually build with it. So if you want to learn more about this, I will have this remix file in the description and you can check it out. That's it for today's video. I hope you learned something nice. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you again in the next video. So if you want to learn more about hero sliders, go check out heroslider.com, which is an incredibly important website which you can use to spice up your design skills with incredible hero sliders animation. Notice how it looks and it feels. So we can preview this. You can always check out these incredible hero sliders and try and build them yourself. You can also check it out, spice up your design projects, which I believe is something you might really enjoy. So if you want to check out more of incredible designs, check out herosliders.com, which is a beautiful part we can play. You can easily add this to your e-commerce brand, your e-commerce website, and have it display this incredible appear effect or incredible hero slider effect. The good thing about this is it is also super responsive, which you can easily plug and play into your designs and you can check them out. So again, if you also want to support this channel, I'm gonna have the link to the hero sliders in the description, and if you click it, I'm gonna get a small commission based on you buying something on the website, which is a way for you to support what I do and also make me able to release more incredible design and incredible videos to people out there who are learning Figma, who are looking to elevate their design levels. So thank you for watching till this end of the video. Once again, my name is Joe and this is Figma Dive, and I will see you again in the next video. Cheers.